Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Talk Show. Welcome, everybody. If you're new here for the first time, hit that subscribe button. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Welcome back to the Sunday Talks program. It's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm so excited to come to you with a new exciting topic and also to introduce you to an awesome YouTuber that I will be collaborating with today. Today, our guest co-host is going to be Msfullroller Cera. I am so happy that we're going to talk with her. So I'm just going to start off with the Best Life Crew affirmation song. So let's get started with that, guys. Welcome.
Be encouraged, be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Hi, guys. Hi, Boss Life Online. Welcome to the Sunday Talks program. I hope you're doing well. I'm about to get started here. Let me turn my camera on and everything. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Welcome to the Sunday Talks program. I am so happy to be here, and another exciting topic, another positive, encouraging, and motivating talk show. I hope this is going to be a message that it will touch somebody, make somebody think about how they're thinking right now, maybe to make changes, or maybe just to encourage you to just keep going in whatever you're doing. I'm going to invite up my co-host today, and she has a YouTube channel. I'm going to invite her up. I'm going to let her introduce herself, talk about her channel, if she wants to shout out her Instagram channel, and we'll just go from there. So welcome, guys. And if you haven't already, like and share me. I'm going to invite up my co-host this afternoon. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so glad to see you here on the Sunday Talks program. Welcome.
Well, thank you, and thank you everyone who's in the chat.
Yeah,
Appreciate y'all coming in.
I see Boss Life Online and Sugar Love. Welcome, guys.
Yes. Well,
Yes, welcome. So I'm going to let you talk about yourself, your channel, whatever it is that you want to share, and you have the floor.
okay. Well, my name is Miss Full Roller Sarah. I When I first came on YouTube, it was just Miss Full Roller because I have been on YouTube for quite a number of years, since 2008. At that time, Google and YouTube were two separate entities. So the Sarah kind of ended up um, being added on when I wanted to separate out, that part from the YouTube stuff. And then you had to add that like second name on there. And I couldn't figure out how to do that. So that's where the Sarah part came. And that's kind of funny how I came across that part because I was looking for, okay, well, what am I going to add as a second name? The surname, I guess. And actually, it was supposed to be Cena. That was the font that I just happened to be, using at the time that I kind of liked. And when I typed it in, instead of me typing in Cena, I typed in Cera. So I
Oh,
said, maybe that's kind of like a little omen. So I said, well, let me just look up the meaning of that. And it actually means in different, it depends on the language, but the fiery one, which I thought was
Ooh.
kind of appropriate because I am, and I kind of like to dabble in astrology. I am an Aries sun. So I was like, oh, that's kind of appropriate. So I stuck with it and I've rode with it. But I've been Miss Full Roller for, oh boy, I've been Miss Full Roller for like 20 years, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. As far as online, my online name. But my channel, as I said, I've been on YouTube since 2008. And my channel has just pretty much been that, really that, getting to know myself and getting to be myself. I was 42 when I first, started that channel. So yeah, I had just had my 42nd birthday, or actually was coming up on my 42nd birthday. So yeah, that's pretty much what the channel's about. I don't have a specific niche. I'm a little resistant to the
Okay.
niche thing. Having grown up being put in a box and kind of forced to be something that, I never was. So that's pretty much what my channel's about. I, dabble in whatever it is that interests me. I figure if I'm being led down a particular path, that's the path I need to go down in order to, discover
You discover
myself.
what, yeah,
Yeah. So
right.
maybe I probably should have, and I thought about this afterwards when you asked me what the topic was going to be. It really should be knowing thyself, because you can't be yourself if you don't know yourself.
Right.
So,
Well, we can always change it right now.
they kind of go hand in hand, but, I, my path is, that knowing yourself. And that to me is that foundation, that very foundation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That so I'm just gonna start off by just telling a little bit of my story. Um, when you said that title, I was like, "Be yourself." I just put my head down. I was like, "Oh God!" Like sometimes I feel like somebody's trying to tell me something. So like for a few years, I have like been wanting to like step out onto the path of being an entrepreneur. Like I went to school, I went to college, I got my degree, blah blah blah. I did what other people wanted me to do, but it wasn't my passion. It wasn't really my thing. Yeah, I was doing it. Yeah, I was making money, blah, blah, blah. But I don't feel like I was walking on my path or my journey where I was supposed to be. So recently I started writing, and like it's helped me with the grieving process of losing my parents and other people in my family recently. And then it
Mhm.
started getting into dealing with my grieving. I started talking about the things I was going through. And then I was like, it felt like something I had been doing for years. It felt like old hat, like, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just make my channel just specifically on this type of thing because I feel comfortable and I feel like to make your channel have longevity, you have to do something that you're passionate about. You have to do something that you really love, like no putting on, no like, oh, saying things just to be popular or to trend. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna just be myself. So when you said that, I was like, I put my head down. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, 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 okay. I get what you're.
And I agree. I absolutely agree. That's why I said what I said about the being resistant to the niche thing. And I do understand, that's absolutely great for the algorithm. Um, however, um, I think part of that, I don't know. I think it's great if your path and who you are is in line with that, and some people's are,
Mhm.
um, then it's fine. But if it's not, it
Right.
causes so many issues. And I feel like from darn near the moment we pop out of the womb,
Mhm.
we are we're being molded into something that we aren't. And I firmly believe that children are not blank slates when they come here.
Mhm.
And they know themselves, you know,
Mhm.
and it's the parents' job to get to know who this being is. But yet, what society and culture does is say, no, this is what you're going to be.
This is who you are.
Yeah, this is who you are. And that causes a whole lot of problems later on in life. I think, and that to me, I think that's the biggest, where the so called, where it had to be termed the midlife crisis. That's where it comes from, you know, because it's the body is going to, the spirit is going to rebel against that at some point. It
Mhm.
is going to come out either physically, you have physical issues, or you're going to come, it's going to be mental issues or psychological issues.
Right.
So,
Or both.
yeah, and exactly both. And that's when you really got problems.
That's the real. That's when
Or you
you're
cause a lot of problems that didn't need to be caused. And really just it's self sabotage, but it's self sabotage via, these external factors.
right. Yeah, that's what I feel like is so important to find out who a person is inwardly. So many people they focus in on the outward, and yes, while appearance is important, appearance isn't everything, and living up to the expectations of other people. At a certain point, you have to allow somebody to become who they are.
Yes. Yes. And that ooh, I guess,
It's heavy, huh? It's heavy.
yeah, and it's to me it's absolutely sad when you have to say that you have to be allowed to be who you are. It's like, really? you know?
Mhm.
And maybe that's for me it's been how do you say? To me that's been one of the joys of getting older, you
Mhm.
know? Cuz I'm noticing the older I get, the more radical I get. The less I put up with that kind of stuff. The minute, because of having grown up in that. And the minute, you want to try to put me in this box and, tell me, oh, you don't know who you are. This is who you are. Is like, cut, clip, you go.
Yeah.
you know, I don't have the time for it anymore. And so many of um my generation, you're constantly hearing of people dying in their, 40s and 50s. That's my generation.
Mhm.
I'll be 55 in a few months.
Mhm.
It's like, nah, nah.
Mhm.
If I'm gonna go out smiling, because I was myself and enjoyed myself, because it takes too much time and energy to deal with, you know, trying to be something that you're not. Just way too much, way too much energy that could be placed on, you know, finding out who you are, what you enjoy.
Right. And Primping Ain't Easy said something very apropos. You have to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. You have to actually, it's sad that you have to fight to be comfortable in your own skin,
Yeah.
you know?
And one of the things that is a very uncomfortable, you could say in air quotes, thing to say, but most of the judgments that you get is from your own race. I find that there's a lot of acceptance from other races, but your own race is the one that will judge you and say how you should look, how you should feel, what you should do, who you should be with, what relationships you should have. They're the ones that judge you the hardest, whereas other people will be more accepting, uh, whereas your own will be, you know, far more judgmental. And one of the things that I found when I was growing up was the light skin versus dark skin debate, because in my family, I have a lot of siblings, and I have some siblings that are lighter skinned. And me, I guess I'm right in the middle. I'm the brown skin, and then my brothers are more darker skin. So it was always like I found that like my other siblings who are lighter skinned, they got different treatment than I got. And then I found that my brothers who were darker skinned than me, they got the worst of all treatment. I was like, why did they get treated like that? And then when I started thinking about the skin color issues, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
And it's say, I mean, it's skin, hair. Um, if you're, another thing, since you brought that up, Hill, I'm gonna just ride on that train
Yeah,
right
right
there.
on it, girl.
Right on the coattail. Um, even intelligence. If you are more, um, you know, and I hate to say it, and
Come on,
this is
say
something
it.
that has bugged me since I was a little girl. That in our culture, um, intelligence is not valued, and you will be put down,
Ooh,
and be a
come on.
female on top of that,
Mm,
right? Or you're not the typical, um, the typical female on top of the,
mhm.
intelligence,
Right.
um, frequently, oh, you don't have no common sense. You ain't got nothing but book sense. You ain't got no common sense.
Mhm.
But yet, later on, when you need to know how to do something, you ringing my telephone off the hook. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. I thought I didn't have no common sense.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
What you calling me for now? Like I said, now prior to 42, my 40s, um, I would, make myself small. And that's another thing, you have to make yourself small
Yeah.
and hide that and downplay that. And it's really a shame that your own, will do that.
Right.
But now, so y'all, young ones out there, don't be afraid to hit them 40s and 50s, because
Hit
that's
it.
when that's when the what is it, the IDA, what is it, IDGAF, yeah, that switch turns on, especially once you hit 50. Okay, I'm gonna use that to keep it PG, because like I said, I know you want to monetize
Yeah,
this.
keep it so, so they don't put
That's
this limited.
that's why I use the the initials. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Once you hit 50, is yes, baby.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Yeah, but like I say, it's ridiculous. It really is.
it
So
is.
that's why I preach to the young ones that I run across. Please find out who you are, because and like what you had said earlier, um, the self judgment. We have to question, where is that really coming from? A lot of time those voices aren't coming from us.
Mhm.
They're coming from that past, when you were a kid.
Right.
Yeah. So
and
that's
and I have to speak on something that my mother told me, and it was so profound for me that even though she's no longer here with me, uh, it rings to me sometimes. Like my mom always says, remember, says, you have to remember that when you go out there in this world, you have people who are always going to be smarter than you. They're always going to maybe look better than you, but they cannot be you. She says, and don't ever let anybody, devalue you and make you think that you're less. You may not know as much as them up here, maybe in your brain, you may be less intelligent than them, but you may have more of the street smarts. They may have the book smarts, but you may have the street smarts. So use whatever tools or whatever value that you have as a woman, because we have to remember when we step out in the world, well, first you're a woman, then you got to remember the color issue. So you just stepping on the scene, you have two strikes already against you, you
Mhm.
know? So you have to make sure you use your intelligence, your wits, everything, so that people don't take advantage of you or make you think that you're something that you're not. Because people, as soon as people see others, what's not a good thing is people judge others just based on the way somebody looks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to make sure
Yeah.
with when you step on the scene, make sure you come with something strong. That's what my mom used to say. Bring it. If you're
Yeah.
going to bring it, bring it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I definitely agree. Um, but there's a lot unfortunately, in our community that a lot of us have come from backgrounds where our own families, our own mothers, our own fathers, our own aunts and uncles have seemed like doing everything in their power to destroy the child's self-esteem. So they can't. They're vulnerable once they're grown up because they don't. The very people that they were supposed to be able to trust, that was supposed to watch out for them, to give them that advice, like like you got from your mother.
Mhm.
Their own tried to destroy them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's why I'm just huge on this topic of being yourself and knowing yourself, because you're having to unravel, all of that
Yeah.
as an adult. You're behind the eight ball. And it's sad that, that takes place quite prevalently in our own communities, because you got that on top of the societal, you know,
Mhm.
thing, right on top of that. So yeah, that's why some people end up turning to drugs,
Mhm.
turning or at worst suicide.
Mhm.
Because that pain is rough. It's hard to deal with.
See,
You know.
my to share a little bit of that as well. When I got to be around 15 years old, I delved all the way into that, and I was all the way on the dark side. I tried to commit suicide. I had an eating disorder. I was all the way rock bottom. Like if you saw how I looked when I was 15 years old, like I look back at those pictures and I can't even look at myself. I mean, I was 70 pounds, skin and bones. I had no self esteem, you know, I was ready to end my life, all because I wasn't being fed the things that I needed to hear. Like, you know, I don't hold it against my family now, but at the time I used to always hear how much smarter my brother was, how much more potential that he had. Oh, he's going to be somebody. But during those times, it was only you were only thought of that of who you're going to marry, who are you going to marry into. That's going to make you. Oh, make sure you get yourself a good one who has some good money, and you'll be okay. But behind that, but what about you? But what about me? But what about who I am and loving myself and standing in that? At a certain point of time, you have to be able to look at your own self in the mirror and be happy with what you see.
Yes, yes, exactly. I'm so glad you touched on that because that is definitely another issue that um, you don't have any value if you don't, for the women, if you don't have a man, and even sometimes, the guys get that same, that same thing, why you don't have a woman, or just the value is always external. It's something external. If you're not doing this, if you don't have this, if you don't have that, then you have no worth. And your worth is not outside of you. Your worth is here. And
Right.
yes, same here. Grew up with, um, you know, my own, telling me that, and complete trust, violated at 13. So, it's been a long road, you know, to get here, and I'm still going down that road.
Right. It's a life journey. It never ends. Your journey of self love. It's every single day.
Mhm.
You never know what you're going to wake up in your thought process going. You don't know what you're thinking of, how your day is going to go. But every day you have a new opportunity to start new.
Yes, yes, exactly. So yeah, um,
Yeah. I
just
yeah. Go ahead.
oh no, no, I was just gonna say keep encouraged, and when you get pushback, because you are once, especially once you start that, once it really hits you, some, and I'm so it just really helps me in my healing to see, you know, because I'm pretty sure you're probably quite a bit younger than I am.
Uh,
Um,
Not that much,
not
but
that much, okay. But it's so good to see you guys, the millennials and younger, um, getting to this process, at the ages that you guys are. It helps in my healing, um, because wow, I'll be glad when I can get to the point to talk about it and not feel like that I'm going to burst out in tears. But yeah, it's just so nice that you guys are you know waking up and getting to that point to say no, no more, no more of this. This is not right. I'm not putting up with this behavior. I don't care from who,
yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember when I cut all my relaxer off my hair, and I remember when my mom said that I could feel my self esteem going out of me like a balloon. I was like, oh, now you look like a boy, and who's gonna
Mhm.
want you? And I felt myself sinking and sinking, like being deflated. And I remember my dad telling me something that I'll never forget. He says, never put your value in what somebody else says, even if it's me or your mother. Says nobody has
Mm,
that right.
mm.
Mm.
That's awesome
And that maybe
awesome.
my balloon I got reinflated again right in that
Mm.
moment, because when you feel down, that's why it's important for who you surround yourself, that even if somebody comes around and they may say something negative to hurt your feelings, but if you just have one person in your life that will say,
That's not right.
that's not right, and you have more value and you're special, you got to have those type of people around yourself at any given moment. That because I have a one of my friends, and she's my accountability partner. Anytime I feel down or discouraged, she has something that she says to me. Hey, you're a qualified woman, you have value, you're important, you're going somewhere, you have a special mark to put in the world. You have to have people like that that will raise your self-esteem. If you're not feeling it, you have to have somebody who will come and like inject you with that power and that light, because you don't always possess it. Got to have
You
people
are
around you that do it.
you are absolutely right about that. And that is it's hard to find, but um when you come across them, hold on to them like,
Woo!
like white on rice.
Mhm.
Hold on to 'em like super glue, or that gorilla glue.
Right.
Just hold on to them because it's sad that it's almost dangerous to be yourself. And so many people are threatened. And that was the point that I was going to make earlier. You know that you're on to something when the people around you, and that should be a red flag, when the people around you have a problem with you improving yourself and being yourself.
Mhm. But
That's when you need to get rid of them.
I have a theory to that I've talked with my best friend about that before. A lot of times when somebody says something negative, something to try to hurt you or break your spirit, it's because they see something in you that they wish that they had the courage to do. Not a lot of people have the courage to just stand in their own truth and be themselves. A lot of people, they may want to cut their hair off and go natural, but they don't have the courage, and look at you, you're just walking around rocking your natural hair, or you're whatever it is that you're doing. You're out there being an entrepreneur. You're whatever it is that may be difficult for many. So
Mhm.
sometimes people don't like to see the strength in somebody else, so they try to say something to break your spirit.
Yeah, they want to cut you down to their level.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're showing you what level that they're at. And they're trying to, keep and bring you down with them. That crab mentality. Yeah. Yeah, and boss life, I saw the comment maybe because no one supported them. Not always, not always.
Not always, but sometimes, because some
But
people
it is some,
never had some love poured into them.
yeah,
So
true.
it could be the excuse. Like I always say, you can get away with something for a little while, but you can't use it as an excuse to cover your whole life.
Yes, true, true. And a lot of times, those very people that do stuff like that, they got, they definitely got the support, and sometimes too much support is in enabling that bad behavior to continue, and then it just blows up. It keeps blowing up because nobody, checks them and stops it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
you get,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think one of the problems in life, when you're younger, you may not know how to speak up for yourself. You don't have that courage within yourself to speak up and say, "This is wrong. This is wrong what you're doing to me." Like it's hard for you to use your voice.
Mhm.
But I
Eh,
think that when you get more comfortable in who you are and you feel your own strength and your power and your light is growing, it's easier for you because you don't worry so much about what other people are thinking.
mhm.
You don't put that much weight. Whereas when you're younger, you feel all the weight is put into how other people think about you.
Yes.
And when you get older, it's a 365. It's all about what you think about yourself.
Exactly. But and a lot of times, especially if that type of psychological, mental, and emotional abuse that can go on in families, um, it's dangerous for that young person to speak up.
Mhm.
So they're not able. You're just focused on surviving and hopefully not doing anything to encourage, you know, any more abuse.
Right,
So that has to be put on the shelf
right.
until a later date. when you're out of the environment, to unpack it.
Right.
And for some, that doesn't take place until much later in life. Some it's the 30s, some it's the 40s, 50s, and for some, um, 60s and even 70s.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like this point that Boss Life Online says
Yes.
that they don't know how to support people. I have to remember that in my life and move on to someone that will support me and tell myself that I'm all that in a bag of chips and I'm a precious child of God.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of times we put too much of our worth. I know I read that in a book somewhere. I don't remember it was from, but we have to remember to not put our worth or all of our value. It's like putting all of your eggs in one basket.
Mhm.
Why do we give so much people so much of our energy and so much of our power, and we don't even know who they are? We give people too much too soon of ourselves. You got to
Mhm.
hold back some of yourself. You can't give your all to everybody because most people don't deserve your worth and your value, and that's just the fact of it. It's not showing off as, you can't just give all of your energy and power to people who aren't worth it.
I agree. I agree. But it's that thing that is baked into society. The cultural, it really is a cultural norm.
Mhm.
And especially women are taught, definitely taught to do that. You put yourself last. You put everybody in front of you, no matter what cost it might be to you. We're taught that. We're taught that from a little girl,
Mhm.
as a little girl. I mean, just observe. Um, and I think this is where a lot of that stems from, why we tend not to know who we are. Um, just look at, like you mentioned, the difference in how you were treated versus your brothers.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah, like they
yes,
would say, like, "Oh, that's okay. He can do that because he's a man."
yes,
But you're,
yes,
but you're a girl. You don't need to do that because you're just going to be a housewife.
yes,
Excuse
exactly.
me? I was like, "Excuse me? Can
Yeah,
I make that
like only,
decision?"
yeah, like only the guys know how to strategize, know how to logically think, just because they have that package down there. That package has nothing to do with. Now, of course, a lot of them think with that one first.
Hmm?
But we ain't gonna go there.
Well, we
Um,
can
we ain't going there. But I mean, just because you have that does not mean you know, you can't think logically. You don't know how to strategize. You don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to fix something. You got guys out here who can't even change a faucet out.
Mm-mm-mm.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
or guys, a lot of guys don't know how to manage money either.
Yeah.
It's not just the women who go out and spend all the money.
Right. I feel like
Yes.
sometimes that can be a real eye opener in when people get married. I feel like that should be a part of the whole discussion when you're dating. What is your view of money? What do you think money should be used for? Because a lot of people
Mhm.
don't understand that money is not just spending the money, it's an emotional thing. You know, what do you want to do with the money? What is your goal when you have money? Because some people,
Mhm.
their view is to spend it, other
Yeah.
people, their view is to save. And if
Right.
you got one person who always wants to blow it and one person who's always holding on, you're gonna have some major problems in that
Exa-
relationship.
Exactly. Same with kids. Just because, going back to that, just because you're a female doesn't mean that you are to be a mother.
Yeah. And not
You know?
everybody wants to be a mom.
Exactly. And that's not even their path. They don't have that's not part of their talent, their innate,
Hmm.
their innate gifts.
Hmm.
just because we have that package, yeah, I got, we all have a womb. The females all have a womb, but that doesn't mean a child has to come out of that womb.
Mhm.
There's creativity and creation and birthing something does not mean another human being.
Right.
Some men are excellent. That's something, that's woman's work. No, you
No.
know, some men are excellent at rearing children, child care, that type of thing. Some women are terrible at it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, women out here, and I'm talking about even from the so-called good old days that folks like to, love to read about. That's a whole nother can of worms too.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, should not have had children. And I do understand, that, but just like I said, that's built into this cultural thing that's the thing you're supposed to do. No, because if that was the case, then why is there so much child abuse and so many adults now having to, go to therapy and try to unravel, all the mess that they went through because, the parents should have never had them.
Mhm.
Not everybody's cut out for that. That's not everybody's path.
Right.
And once the kid is here, it's too late. It ain't like, a dress that you decide that you done bought or a car. Oh, I don't like this. You can go take it back. You can't do that with a child.
Um, I agree with Boss Life Online's comment here, where she says that some people, when they come from an abusive parents themselves, that we have to break the cycle and do much better than they did with our own kids.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and I think a lot of times that people don't want to put in the work. They just want to just repeat the cycle because they just become lazy and just say that's the way I was raised and they just let it be. But just because you've been doing something for a long time does not make it right.
Exactly. Now that I say that all the time.
Yeah.
However, there is there's very much, like I said earlier, it takes a lot of mental courage to step out of the box. Because the minute you step out of the box, that's when you know, the
Yeah.
real heat is going to get put on you. Because those, like you said, it's not necessarily the laziness, it's because they're afraid to. Because you have so many people invested in you staying in that and
Right.
not paying attention, not questioning it.
Mhm.
That's why so many people don't know who they are. A lot of the decisions that they made, they think that they made those decisions thinking, yeah, I made that decision because this is what I really want. But people are afraid because, society is going to push back. Your own
Mhm.
family is going to push back.
Yep.
That's when you really find out who folks are. And this is including the folks that you are related to by DNA.
Yeah.
That's who you really find out who, folks are and who's in your corner. When
Yep.
you start to question, you know,
Yeah.
stuff that ain't right. Like you said, just because you've been doing it for 1,000 years don't mean it was right. Hell, it probably was wrong 999 of those years.
Yes.
You know?
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
that's what makes it so hard for people to be themselves because it is scary. And a lot of times, until you find that, unless you're lucky enough to always have that supportive person there, a lot of times that's not the case. It is a very lonely journey
Mhm.
until you find those folks. And that's what I think keeps people from doing it. And you have to get to the point, as long as it's still a little comfortable and you can, you know, I like to kind of use the analogy of moving changing the furniture around,
Mhm.
painting the walls, putting up new curtains, you know, to make it feel a little bit better.
Mhm.
Once you run out of all those options and you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired of the mess, then you'll
Then
be like,
then you'll change.
whatever. I'm going to do this, but it takes some people a long time to get to that, get to that point.
Right. And Boss Life Online says breaking the cycle is not easy. It's full of pain, and that's why most people won't do it. But I did, but I did because I wanted better for my child, and now she owns her business just like her mom. So I do think that it
Awesome.
does take, courage, whoever you are, male or female, to
Mhm.
courage enough to say, this has been going on for too long and it's going to stop with me.
Yes.
That takes a lot of courage because it's a lonely walk. You're going to have people who are going to be angry. They're going to turn their back on you. They're going to say things about you. They're going to
Mhm.
spread lies. They're going to gossip.
Mhm.
So you have to have enough courage and strength within yourself and say, no matter who walks on this road with me, it's my road to walk. God, you have to be strong and firm in your determination for what you want to do. And you have to want better for yourself. You have to say, this, enough is enough. I want to be better. I want to be a better human being, and leave my mark on the world. Because one thing that I think is sad, because I work in healthcare and I see people come to the end of their life so many times. I'm holding their hand and they're dying. And their last thing that they have on their mouth so many times is, I wish I would have done something that I thought about years ago. They always
Mhm.
had that last thing that they say, that regret. I wish I would have, I don't know, wrote that book. I wish I would have went on that trip. I wish I would have gone to school. I wish. They always come back to that regret, or I wish I would have forgave that person. You know,
Yeah.
don't wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say. And to not just live with purpose, to live on purpose.
Yes. Yes. And to me, being yourself, knowing thyself, to me that is the foundation. That is the purpose. All the other stuff is built upon that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why like I say, the older I get, the more I'm radical about that, because you can't, you can't put the frame up, on the house, and put the roof on and put the siding on
Hmm.
without a foundation,
Yeah.
without the foundation. And that is the foundation.
Mhm. And you have to realize that most of the people who because I follow a lot of people who are what I would term successful people, and it's not the financial success, but it's the person who steps outside of the box and has the courage to say, I had this dream and I followed it, and now they're living, doing what they feel that they should be doing. To me, that's the definition of success, is a person who wakes
Yes.
up every day and they feel fulfilled in what they're doing. That's success
Yes.
to me. It's not about this. It's about waking up and saying, yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
I feel the same way. Living it now, for me, it's living, being who they are and living life on their terms. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. Because what, like I said, what's success for you? Because that's an individual thing. What's success for you might not necessarily be success for me.
Right.
And it's not about the money. Because even that, if people look at, oh, well, this person's got, this money or this thing, that's still external.
Right.
It's still putting your worth, your value, you know, valuation on something external. So
Right.
for me, if and that's what I'm drawn to. I love authentic people,
Mhm.
and maybe because I needed that, I needed to see that example because I did not have that example around me. Yeah. That is to me that is the ultimate of success. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like a person who has the courage to stand up and say, this is myself and I don't care who likes it. I'm going to do it anyways. To me,
Yes.
that's a purpose who's living their purpose. They love
Mhm.
themselves, and they're doing what they're supposed to do, because I feel like that's so important to show other young people, because whether we believe it or not, we are role models
Mhm.
to other young people. They're looking at a person in their 30s, 40s, 50s and saying, that's what I want to be like in 20 or 30 years. And you don't even realize that when somebody looks at you and says, that's what I want to be in 20 or 30 years. So you have to think about, you have to be kind of conscious of that and say, am I being a good example of
Mhm.
what somebody else wants to become?
But
I had to make that conscious change in my life because
yeah.
I was very unhappy and I had a lot of issues growing up and all kinds of things. And I made a decision to say, I'm not going to just stay in this.
Mhm.
I'm going to make a decision to find out who I am, what I want to do, and I'm going to be that,
Yeah.
whether I get the support or not. And I didn't get the support in the beginning, but now that once you become somebody, then people want to have your back. Oh yeah, that's my sister, that's my daughter, that's you know how that goes.
Mhm.
They want to have your back when they
Mhm.
see you have some type of trying to think of the term, but some type of label
They
behind you.
wanna ride your coattails
Right.
at that point, 'cause now you got coattails.
Right.
When they first, they were busy trying to cut them off. Now that you actually got
Mm.
coattails, now they wanna try to ride them. Oh,
Mm.
no. Mm-mm. Go find your own sled. Get off my sled.
I work hard to make this sled.
I'm telling you, get off my sled. Go find your own sled. But yes, absolutely,
Oh man.
absolutely.
I just wish that I had something that I could tell people who are in their 20s. Sometimes I just think about when I do a reflection of my 20s and I just shake my head and say, oh, my Lord. I'm just like, Marlon, what were you doing? Like, I would just shake my own self and
Mhm.
tell people, don't try to have permission from other people to be yourself. I wish that
Yes.
I can tell myself that
Mm, girl,
and say,
child.
I
Mm.
say, I'm gonna say, girl, when you said 30, this is not.
You remember, I forgot which of the Madea movies where, Madea is talking to, and I can't remember the character's name, but, his wife was, ended up being a drug addict,
Mm-hmm.
and, he was saying, saying to Madea, "But Aunt Madea, I didn't see it." And she says, "Mm-mm, we get those warnings." And, she was saying too that, you look at, especially once you really get to know yourself and realize this type of stuff. She said, you see that person later on and you like, what the heck was I thinking? When she said,
It's like, what was wrong with me?
what was wrong with me? Yes, yes. But
Uh,
even, I am inspired so much by young people. A lot of y'all younger ones are huge inspirations for me, you know,
yeah.
being, um, 20 and 30 years my senior. I mean, junior.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So even, us oldies, don't discount these young folks. A lot of these young folks are way more conscious than
Mm-hmm.
I think we were at our age, maybe because the environment is a little more accepting,
Right.
than it was, when we were that age. But
Mm.
yes, you can find inspiration whether it's someone older than you or someone younger than you.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
most important thing is to find your inspiration.
Yes. And so being yourself can be that inspiration for someone
Mm.
else, you know?
Yeah. And I just want to talk on a moment about people who are so wrapped up in what society, what other people are doing. They're so looking at, oh, and this person has this and this person is doing that, that they don't ever get their life on track because you're so busy looking at and comparing and do. Oh, and this person has that, so I should have that. You need to be on your own course. You need to
Mhm.
be, whatever you do what you're supposed to be doing and stop worrying about other people. Let them stay in their own lane. You need to
Yes.
worry about yourself. And I feel like that's something that I would have told myself 10 years ago. I was so occupied on what other people were doing that I wasn't even doing myself, because I was like, oh, they have that. Okay, I think I need to get that. Oh, they're doing that. Okay, I need to do that. Oh, they have that. Okay, I need to get one of those. Hmm.
Mm.
I was like, why do I need to get one of those?
Yeah.
They're gonna pay that bill. They don't, you know, you never know what comes along with having things. That's another lesson to people who are younger. You don't
Yeah.
know. You look at somebody and they have something, you don't know what it took for them to get that.
Very
What
true.
did they do to get it? Then
Very
sometimes
true.
some of those people, they sold their soul to get it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. I
mm,
would add to that, for me, that wasn't too much of an issue as far as, say, I gotta have this because, somebody else has it, or, um, society says I'm supposed to have this or that. But one thing I would say, and I see this a lot, is that don't put yourself don't put yourself last, especially to people who only look at you and only are around you, care about you because they want something from you, and want, or what you can do for them. That's the words I was
mm,
looking for. What you can do for them. And uh once you can't, the minute you can't do that thing for them or be there for them or whatever, then it's like, they want to turn on you.
or they want to act like you never did anything for them.
Yes. Yes.
That
Yes.
that.
And it's okay to you can forgive, you hear about this forgiveness thing, and that's fine to forgive. Yes, improvement, absolutely. Much more intuitive, I think, than at least, I would say, for my generation at that same age.
Yeah.
Um, we have been taught to forgive a lot of bad behavior, and seems like forgiveness also means go back into that same relationship with the same person, and this includes family, and especially family,
Come on.
as if this the slate is wiped clean, which enables them to continue the same stuff. You can forgive someone, but forgiveness does not equate or mean that you have to continue that relationship. If you want to say, I forgive you, but me and you is through,
Mm.
that's what it should be. You should never allow anyone, to, and like I said, that goes from family on
Any
down, and especially family,
especially.
because we seem to, keep want to guilt people and place judgment on them when they stand up for themselves and say, no, I'm not going to continue this, and want to say, well, just because you don't want to continue the relationship with them, oh, you haven't forgiven them. That's not for anyone else to, you
Right.
know.
Uh,
So yeah,
part of loving yourself is not allowing toxicity into your life, into your
mhm,
space.
exactly.
You have to love yourself more than that.
Yes,
You can forget, I forgive you, but I'm gonna have to let you go.
exactly.
Yeah, you got your walking papers
Yeah,
today. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You handed me the scissors.
Yep.
Clip, clip.
What is you gotta cut the umbilical cord.
Mhm. Cut the umbilical cord, and if you have to, you know, when you close the door, go get you some 2x4s, some Gorilla Glue. Make sure you get at least, what is it?
The
One, two,
nails,
three, four.
nail it in.
Yeah, 6 of them. Go get you some 6-inch nails, your staple gun, and the Gorilla Glue. If you wanna nail it shut and glue it shut,
Shut it down.
shut it down. Yeah, and don't look back.
Yeah. That's it. And I feel like that, and that's the issue for most people is they forgive people and then they go right back into that. They go right back into that down that rabbit hole again. I was like,
Mhm,
no, you just got out of. What are you doing?
mhm. Yeah,
Ah,
that should be the red flag. If you are not able to be yourself in that relationship, that is that fight or flight, that natural, yes, boss life, that natural, um, instinctual, physiological bodily reaction that's telling you this situation, danger. It's
mhm.
telling you danger. Get away from them.
Yeah,
And it's sad that society, within our culture, not just our culture, but in society in general, that is so conditioned out of us to not pay attention to those natural, normal, signals.
yeah. And I feel like it's so important to surround yourself by other people, no matter the age. Like I have girlfriends that are many different ages. I have
Mhm.
the people who are like grandmothers to me that will just tell me straight, no chaser. They're going to say like, what are you doing? No, no. You need
Mhm.
people like that in your life that will just tell you just straight up and like, no, that's no, not a good idea. You don't want people who will just, what is it called? Um,
Enable.
enable or try to tell you what you want to hear. Sometimes
Yeah,
what you need to hear is the truth.
it's the truth. Sugarcoat.
Yeah, sugarcoat, and that's so, yeah,
Mhm. Yes, exactly. Yes, and you're absolutely right. And those people, yeah, like I say, unfortunately, is hard to find.
yeah. Uh,
Yes, and heck, we all need to have make that feature, as a part of our
regular.
physical lives. Yes, learn how to block.
Right. It's you're protecting your space.
Mhm.
Nobody has the authority or the right to tell you what to do, to think, and to be.
Yes,
That's I think that's something that for where I am in my age group, that's what I've learned in the past few years. Nobody has that right. And I'm
same
not
here.
gonna allow it.
And the sad part is it took me all the way until really age 47 before I really
You got
got
it.
that courage to say that.
Mhm.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
don't wait that long, for y'all that's younger.
Uh-huh.
Please, please do not wait that long.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times it's not that they don't believe that. It's not that they don't want to, but they're kind of hesitant. I feel like that's another part of it too. They'll do it, but they're kind of dragging their feet. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm getting to it, hesitating. Don't
Mhm.
hesitate.
Yes.
Protect your space, your peace, everything. And I would say even that goes into the financial as well, because that's another part of loving yourself. I think something that's not really talked about on YouTube and in life in general is the when it comes to money. That's a big problem in the family. You have people who just you're constantly it's like I'm not a bank. They only want to come to you when money,
You
money,
need
give
something.
me money, just give me money, just get. So how are you helping that person if you're always giving?
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to remember that you have to receive too.
Yeah.
And I learned, I don't think I got this until maybe 32,
Mhm.
is that there's many ways that you can give to somebody. I didn't learn that. I thought giving only was financial. You can give to somebody emotional support. You can give
Mhm.
somebody spiritual support. There's many ways that you can support people, but you can't always have people coming and taking everything until you're empty inside.
True.
Yeah.
And that's, I would say this is one thing that, definitely is not taught, but your time is your most precious resource. There's no, that's why I can't stand the phrase "time is money."
Mm,
Time is way more. You can't put
way.
a price tag on it. It is precious, and that is something that people who want to abuse you, the abusers, that's the one thing that they steal from you.
Yeah. And you can't
It
get it
is
back.
time. Yeah, because you can't get it back. You can make more money, you can make more things, but you can't get that time back. Because all of us only have a certain amount of, time on this earth. And of course, unfortunately, once you pop out, you don't get the little thing that says, okay, this expires, like the
Yeah, this
expiration
is
date
the
that they put
expiration.
on food. You don't know what that expiration date is, what your expiration date is. You don't know that. So that is why time is so valuable. And that's the one, the thing that abusers steal from you
Hmm.
is that time.
Yeah. As Sugar Love
Yeah.
says, you can't get time back.
Hmm.
Such a precious, precious possession.
Yeah. So treat it as such. And if you recognize that, um, and like I said, those alarm bells are going to go off. Because you have those, that I think they term it now as energy vampires,
Yeah.
who want to steal just steal your time. Yeah. So be vigilant, in protecting that. And if they, I don't care who it is, if they're that type that want to, steal your time, is just a one way type, always a one way transaction, whatever I can get from you, or to get you to always, you know, do stuff for them that they should be doing for themselves.
Hmm.
That's stealing your time, you know? Yeah.
I've had those conversations with people in my own family and friends. When I came into my own, I had to tell certain people that from now on I can no longer do what I used to do.
Hmm.
Because what I was doing is enabling you, and that's toxic, and I can no longer allow that in my space.
Yes.
So I had a lot of people. I had a lot of people that I dropped off from. I no longer talk to is because they only talk to me when they want something. Or on the opposite side, they may not want anything, but they're only calling me to tell me how everything is wrong and this and that and this, but they never change anything. Like sometimes I just want to shake them. You keep telling me the same thing, but you're not doing anything. What are you going to do about it? They're
See
not
that? Yeah.
doing
That's
anything.
stealing your time.
Mm-hmm.
It's stealing your time. It's emotional draining. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I can't be bothered with those type of things anymore. You have to, I feel like the older you get and the more that you come into your own, know who you are, where you're going, you kind of can know what you should be doing. But I think when you're younger, you don't really know where you're going. You're kind of scattered. You're here, there, everywhere. You're trying to do everything for everybody. You care more about what other people think. And then when you know who you are, you be like, no, you have to learn to block things that's not in line with your purpose.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's where, like I say, the older, or even maybe younger mentors, people surrounding yourself with, with the people to say that, because younger people are pressured by older, a lot of time older folks. You're too young to know what your purpose is, but
Yeah.
yet at the same time you're asking them, at 2 years old, what do you want to be when you grow up? You have to be able to try things and do things in order to really hone in on that. So yeah, and that's where the fear comes, I think, in younger people having that courage to say, well, no. you know.
Right. At some point in life that people have to give people room enough to grow. And
Mhm.
I think that that is something very profound. And you are very fortunate if you have people in your life that give you room to grow. Most people just want you to stay stuck in the same thing day after day, year after year. When you see somebody changing and doing things and becoming better, that, even their personality has improved, those are the people you should encourage them and tell them how proud you are of them. Tell them that they're doing things. And I feel like more people don't do that. They see people doing good things, but they never tell them.
Mhm.
They may say it to themselves, but it's important to hear that.
Yeah,
Tell people that you're proud of them if you are. You may not
yeah,
get a chance later.
very true. Very true. Yep.
So, did you have any questions that you want to ask me about being yourself?
Um, yeah, I see. I think I have probably one. Like, what is you already kind of answered one, about what would you tell yourself, your younger self. Um, what does that process look for you now?
Versus when I was younger?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think when I was younger, and also having my parents around, like I always used to say, I wonder what mom would think. I wonder what dad would think. And then I would go through all like, I wonder what my brothers would think and my sisters. So I went through so many levels before it got to me. So I felt
Mhm.
like my view was kind of skewed. Like I was like, that's not authentic. Why am I asking other people what I should think? And I think at a certain point, I decided that what I thought mattered first before I go to somebody else. You have to come into your own and say, this is what I want. This is what is good for me. And then if other people like it, that's great. But I think when I was younger, I used to go through the levels of what mattered more, the self acceptance. Is that in line what they would want for me instead of what I would want for myself? So I feel like that's the difference now.
Okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. And see that, like I said, that inspires me.
Mhm.
Definitely inspires me. And I'm definitely going to keep that in mind, when I have, some of those low days of self-doubt, or, you
Mhm.
know, when the
Yeah.
family drama comes up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. So thank you.
Thank you. I have one for you. Um, when did you decide that you were enough? I think everybody in a certain point in your life that you say, I am enough. At what point in your life, or did a situation happen that you decided that you were enough?
Hmm. I would say it kind of came and, it definitely ebbed and flowed, probably more ebbed than flowed. But I really didn't start acting on it, really, like I said, until my 40s.
Oh.
Until my 40s. And then it hit there was a situation, that happened, and, I was 47, or was it 46? Might have been right before my 47th birthday, when I was like, If it's, that statement, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the damn to do side, you know.
Right.
So yeah, that was probably the real where I actually acted on it, you know, and
Right.
said, if y'all don't like it, I'm sorry, but it is what it's gonna be.
Right. I'm just I like to hear things like that. That makes me feel good because I feel like in this society we don't have a lot of people that have the courage enough to say at this point in my life I decided that I'm enough. And
Hmm.
I feel like that's a powerful message to tell other people that may not even be there. They may not have not come to that conclusion yet
Hmm.
because that does come in time that you have to make a decision that I am enough to stand in my own strength and to be who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's remarkable, and I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, another right along at that same time, it was someone that I knew. We were right around the same age. Found out that they had cancer. So
Ooh,
that really, that's why I was like, I'm not putting up with this behavior from y'all any
right.
longer. Because I'm not going out. I ain't going out that way.
Hmm.
I'm just not. So yeah,
Wow. Uh, well, I'm so happy that you were able to find step into yourself at when you did, because what I hate to see is some people go through their whole life. Like I said, I've taken care of people, and the end of their life, they've come to the end of their life and they have not come to that conclusion that
yeah.
I was enough. They put their kids, they put their husband, they put a job, they put other people
Hmm.
above themselves, that they never even gave themselves room to grow and to be. And I feel like that's far too sad to see that.
Yes, it is. It is absolutely.
So I want to pass that on to anybody who's watching now or anybody who will watch this on the replay, that you are enough, and have the courage to stand up and tell yourself, I'm enough, and remove toxic people from your life that are not encouraging you for your personal growth.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that. No matter who it is.
Who?
Because if you got to jump through all those kind of hoops, and make yourself small and contort yourself into, a pretzel, that's not a relationship.
Mm-mm.
It's not a family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just have to wake up and be, and they should just accept that.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I've thoroughly enjoyed this discussion.
I did too.
I have to. I'm gonna watch this back so many times on the replay. I'm like, oh yes, that is the point. I love that point. I don't know if other people do that, but I do go back and watch my Sunday talks, and I have certain points that I write down in my book and say, now that was a nugget.
Yes. Well, I definitely enjoyed it. And I will be going back to watch the replay too, because you definitely threw some nuggets out there for me to be like, yeah, mm-hmm.
You're like, okay,
Keep up with that one.
and
Hmm.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a comment here in the chat. What relationship was the hardest to change?
Um, I am not in the business of trying to change a relationship. I may not be exactly understanding the question, because that's one of the things that I've learned. You cannot change people.
Mm-mm.
You absolutely cannot change people. The only person you can change is yourself.
Right.
And if you have to, like I said, that's what I meant about having to, put yourself in pretzels and tiny boxes and all of that just to be in a relationship. To me,
Mhm.
that's the signal to let that one go. So
Conformity.
I don't even try to change. I did, and the for me that relationship was with my mother. Um, Once I realized that that one wasn't going to change, and that is a huge taboo, you know, because of course there's this thing out here that all mothers love their children, and yeah,
Mm,
okay,
no.
I you only get one mother, and oh, okay, I. Once I got to the point, and my health was suffering
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to stay in that relationship.
Mhm.
It's either me or you. I'm choosing me.
Right.
So yeah, that was,
Mhm.
if that is the question, if I'm interpreting the question,
Mhm.
that was the one.
I personally, for me, my hardest relationship was not other people. My hardest relationship was myself.
Mhm.
That was me because I had all the issues that I was dealing with personally and dealing with other people and never thinking I had value and worth. And, I just said, well, if I don't have value and worth, then why am I here?
Mhm.
So that's when I had to go back and go inwardly and fix what I had going on and rearrange and misshape and grow in my own journey to self love. That it was that nobody could help me to fix me but me. I had to be responsible for my own mess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I definitely had that, as well. I was always, and even a lot of my friends, and my husband as well, saw that I was so hard on myself, and my friend pulled me aside. It's like, why are you so hard on yourself? And it was because of that relationship with my mother.
Mhm.
Nothing was, I was never good enough for her.
Yeah.
Never good
Trust
enough.
me, I
So
know. Trust me, I know.
yeah, so once I made the decision, like you said, when you did, I said I am enough.
Mm.
you know
Yeah.
how I am. I'm not you.
Yeah.
Never was you. Don't ever want to become like you. Once I made that decision, then I improved my relationship with myself.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
couldn't do that, you know,
Mhm.
with her.
Right.
So
It's like you have to learn to improve the quality of your own self in order for your growth process to begin.
yes.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's profound.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, for mixology saying for them it's the people who I enabled for a period of time and they feel like I'm switching up because I'm tired of pretzeling. Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yep.
Mm.
And see that's what I went through once I made that decision. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That that's when I found out. Now, as far I never that was the reason why I never talked about much of as far as my family. Um, because of that. And once I made the decision that I wasn't going to deal with that mess anymore, yeah, I found out
Yeah.
who all them folks were.
Yep. Listen, I got a lot of folks in my family that is blocked.
Yeah, we doing the
Listen,
real thing.
not ashamed. They can watch this live stream too and tell, but they talking about me. Listen, if you think the shoe fits, wear it.
Yeah, one of the I can't remember who it is. I love that statement because the way they said it, he said it, but he added something else to it. You probably didn't heard it, because he
Mhm.
was like, if the shoe fit, wear that.
Hello.
I
It
said,
doesn't bother you if it don't apply to you.
exactly. So we might, you might probably got some folks who, yeah, that shoe fit real good. He wearing the heck out them shoes.
They're wearing it.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that was that was all I had for today. And I really enjoyed the discussion. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be here.
Thank you for asking. Yes, just I accept my apologies because it totally slipped my mind. I saw your message and I wasn't able to respond, and I said I'm gonna respond to that message later. Child.
Mhm. That's okay, because I'm the same way. And I have friends here on YouTube, and they'll say, and they call me, they say, answer your message.
Mhm,
Yes. So I admit I am a procrastinator. I am. You should just accept who you are. I know I am. So
mhm.
yeah. And I'm trying to change it, but it's a slow process.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
but you know what? Sometimes some good things can come out of procrastination, so it's
Yeah.
not always bad.
It's not always bad.
Mm-mm, it's not.
Yes. So thank you so much for being here. Tell
Mm.
I'm gonna link your channel in the comment section when it uploads. But do you have a Instagram or other social media, or is this it?
I do have an Instagram account. I am not active on it as far as posting stuff. I had said that I was gonna, try, but
Mhm. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, people can contact me there. It's just wait a minute. No, it's Miss Full Roller underscore Sarah.
Okay.
But yes, I do have an Instagram account. My Facebook, I kind of keep that. That's for another purpose. And I really don't post that much on there either. So.
Okay.
Oh, and I do have a blog, which, oh my God, my poor blog has been so, it's been so neglected. I haven't posted in like 5 years. But it's called, Lord, see, it's been so long. I forgot the name of my own blog.
It's right.
SarahIsis.net.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
That's,
think that link is on my YouTube. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it is. It's
I
on my
linked
YouTube
it.
page. Okay.
Mhm. Yes. So if
Yeah.
you guys haven't joined her, this is what I'm talking about. I know you said that you weren't much of a person for discussion, but with the discussion we had today, I beg to differ.
Yeah, I might start talking about, some of this kind of stuff and figure out, maybe how to like I say, maybe if once I figure it out, I'll have you on my channel.
Ooh, challenge.
Yeah, 'cause I don't use the StreamYards that much because I'm not that crazy about the lag, you know. So yeah, I'm looking at something else that I can use with the OBS. It's just that just the time, trying to get the time to
Right.
learn the stuff and figure out, because when you got your own equipment, the stuff reacts different on your equipment versus, so yeah, it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, but keep going. Stay encouraged, everybody. Stay
Yes,
encouraged. Don't let anything take you off your course and your purpose because you matter.
exactly. And being yourself, you will be an inspiration to someone else.
Yes. But that was a great way to end it. So thank you so much for being on my
You are
panel.
so welcome, and thank you again for asking.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. So I thank everybody for being a part of the discussion today. I really enjoyed this topic about being yourself. It's so vital in this life. No matter where you are in this life, whether you're a young person, you're older, it's never too late to make a decision, to be conscious, to be yourself, to love. to forgive, you know, live a life of purpose on purpose. You know, you get one you, so live the best life that you can for yourself and be happy. Be happy. Surround yourself with positive, encouraging, and supportive people. Believe in yourself. You're deserving of it. If nobody else tells you but me today, you're deserving of everything wonderful and special. So I'm going to end it on that note. So thank you to everybody in the chat for being a part of this stream. Thank you to my wonderful co-host, Msfullroller Cera. I've enjoyed the discussion with you, and I'll be reaching out to you with something else soon. Thanks, everybody. And I'm going to put up for my channel, my commercial for my channel. Okay, guys. And as I say, every single video, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. Bye, guys.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself.